It is another beautiful afternoon. I'm Joseph Chimba, the grassroots media president, broadcasting live in the Republic of Zambia. ECL was not a fool. ECL was not a fool. Edgar Chagwarungu was not a fool to come up with the idea of Tons Alliance. Edgar Lungu was a or the feet of a lion. Edgar Lungu calculated the weakness of a lion, which is UPND. That's why he came up with Tons Alliance. The spirit of Tons Alliance was to work together and to put the interests of the Zambian people. He knew kulando kweba tiba UPND government na abarua sana PF. So alikwete kulando kweba tentu mwemfye kwa maputi. Some of you the leaders tamwa kwete vision ya Tons Alliance. Shitana ipwa. And if you can pretend that all is well, then you are lost. You need to think twice. Ba UPND po ba Islam government. Ba liwa PF kuyo naula. Ama yezi yari pito kwa bulopo ballot paper kuma by election. And you want to continue. We have remained with 8 months. Edgar Lungu was not a fool. Pakupreta Tons Alliance. Edgar Lungu was not a fool to call all opposition political parties leaders to work together. He was not a fool. He calculated the movement of the UPND. That's why Atire is Ntuambele Chapamo, and every political party is important. Where we are now is to find a vehicle that will take us to 2026. Ngolea ku Southern Province, ulea ku Livingstone. Ulea ku Chipata. Nangolea ku Apula, nangolea ku Northern Province, nangolea ku Western Province. Wakwela motoka, pakati kanshila yafwa. There is always a solution. Ura driver and conductor, mwalala ndanankwe, afwa motoka imbi, until you reach your destination. Where you are, it is not the time to be, to be UPND ikwata agenda. Ya ishemko na ula opposition political parties. That's why mwadimona ama giant bonzo bali bekata. No kusala pwe ntungulu shimo. So, mulandu wa network yali pena ba PF na ba opposition bonse work as a team mshitana ipwa for any ba UPND nga balero na PF na tukwata KBF uko Zambia must prosper wa PF KBF mwana wa PF ale bomba na balungu ali bombe na ba Michael Sata ile tuwalando kweba ati ni PFB. So nga chakweba okweba ati ba UPND banyantira PF na mkwata PFB o tuleto okweba ati Zambia must prosper nangu mwabomfya NCP shitana ipwa chibemba chando okweba ati kupesha chibola kumoswera chibemba chando okweba ati nali kwebele taburu hapo chibemba chando okweba ati kupesha lunshi kunya pabiri abena Zambia bachula abena Zambia balila ukuitemwa no kuibika pamurwe satafwaya mwema leaders aba PF mwema leaders aba Tons Alliance ikale ni pamo mupere abantu roadmap ba UPND bali senda PF bali ibika matanda. So what are you going to do? Ndachakweba okweba tibafilo kubwecha PF kuli imwe mwema structures all across the country ambeni ukukwata plan B. Mkwate plan B ya kweba ati ngachakweba okweba ati bakano kuleta PF back nshitana ipwa tushele na 8 months 8 months ya ishere. If you are not serious mukaku general election ukwa brechipan PF munye na pali NCP nangu munye pali Zambia must prosper nshitana ipwa nati mukala ndata tuwale landa by UPND, the greatest enemy of So the greatest enemy of UPND is PF. they know that once they give power, they give back PF to the owners, they will lose the election. So they are all trying by all means to fight PF. So if you have to do plan B. Balungu pakuleta tonsa alliance. Ba Edgar Lungu pakuleta tonsa alliance. Ba dikwete mano. Ba dikwete chimonwa. Now, if you want to get divided, how are you going to win election? Zambian people, they have already decided to vote for the opposition. But the opposition mure angala. Ba PF ichefien. Ichefien ba PF. A pepo muri. Ama pepo ba senda ba UPND. Na mkwata ma structures. Na mkwata ba member of parliament. Na ba member of parliament are confused. Tabeshibe what will happen. Nga ba studies of parliament. So ima ba PF. Kwate ni plan B Edgar Lungu amebele. Nga chakwebo kweba atibaikata PF. Pade ama political party omkwetia kwa KBF wa PF afu mine MPF. Hello KBF tafu mine mweka MPF. Ba mutamfishefe ba lipangile kateo ya kumutamfia. Elo wa pange chipancha Zambia must prosper. That is PFB. So akuchilati mulelwa. Ishtanga hapwa. Kuri kuprinta ma t-shirt. Kuri kuprinta odsote. Kuri kuprinta ma. Kuri kuprinta fitenge. Kuri kufaye myotoka. Zambia ikuru. We need to go in the field there. Nokuwa mkweba abantu across the country. Zambia te Lusaka. Zambia te Kitweka. Zambia ikuru fueba enda. Kwa riba kumishi. Ushava network. You need to go and reach out there and tell the people who is going to be the next president. Ele mba PF mure angala. Ele mba tonse mure fokula arwa. Don't waste our time. Na tukwa tefia kuchita. Alaku ichefia. Kusu mangole foku bentungurushi. Baru pia banda bari kufamu. Basa haba president. Levi mwanawasa. Ari kufamu. Asa haba president. FTJ Chiruba. Tewa inokuba president. Asa haba president. He was just a conductor. He became the president as a unionist. So le sefia chita. Kuivika panshi. Le sale miya. No kubika pamulo. Now kwata men so akulolesha. You need to understand. We are going into a general election where there are a lot of things that are needed. We need campaign materials. We need money. Kulefwa ikendeke. Kulefwa ikemiotoka. Within 8 months. Ano mule angala. Abena Zambia nabala ndokwe bati. Tupele ni president umo. Ewa alaba president. Abantu naba chula. Bari wana urechalo ba UPND. This is a failed government. This is a failed project. Zambian people are living in poverty. The civil servants are complaining across the country because the UPND is a failed project. If the Zambian people, they can cry and they suffer for their first term, what about the second term? Zambia bachula. First term yaba UPND. What about the second term? Zambian people, they will be reduced to be beggars across the country. So by opposition, this is not the time to fight. Edgar Lungu tatu mpile. Edgar Lungu was not a fool. Pakupanga tonsa alliance. Alishiwe kwebati. PF nga baichinga. Ama members aba PF. Ama structures yonse. Naba supporta PF. Baka supporta tonsa alliance. That was the vision of Edgar Chagwarungu. But lero, munefu okula vision ya kwa Lungu. Munefu mulero na ba UPND. Bali senda PF. Bali ibika matanta. Mwarimona. Chabinga na imama baka. Munefu kwati for the past 4 years. Bali kano kumubika pa ballot paper. Ama janti bali batwala masero. Boma na masero. Kambuya ali masero. Malanje ali masero. Chitotela ali masero. Chilangwa ama janti ali wapura bali masero. How are you going to win election? Uyo apaka buoyo. Kazi ni wesu uyo. Tutu angurubi alifua. Baiti zina wakwa bale afuako. Balifua. Edgar Lungu alifua. Do you think, how are you going to win election? Ama janti bali prison. Ama janti balifua. And you want to become disorganized. When you enter in the world of politics, you have to understand we need to save the people that are suffering. Together with the UPND members, Bale Chula, Bale Larensala. The UPND members are also suffering. We need a government that is going to help even the members of the UPND and those who are not in UPND. What I'm speaking is not for myself. There are people outside there. Abale chura. Abale lare insala. Even ama members aba UPND bale chura. Even ama members aba TH bale chura. But you, the leaders of the opposition, it's like you have closed your eyes. I don't fear PF. I don't fear UPND. I don't fear Zambia must prosper. I don't fear any political party. I tell them the truth. KPF, yeah. Ariwa PF. Mwana wa PF. Ema founders aba PF. Ngachakwebo ukwebati. Bamyangala sana. Bangala na PF. Na mkwata KPF uyo. Mwana wa PF. Afu mine PF. You can work with him. Na bola mwaserusha. Barungu barisha roadmap. Barisha NCP. Na Peter Chanda alingewa kuichefya. KPF alingewa kuichefya. Because uimia ni lesa. Efyo lesa perele KPF kupange chipani. Ali mweneko tulea. Efyo lesa pekalishe NCP. Lesa ali mweneko tulea. Mwa PF. This is not the time to sleep. Don't hold on things that you know. Don't fight a losing battle. By UPN to Ashana 8 months. 4 years down the line. You have been fighting. So that you can put PF in order. What do you do if you are intelligent? Bring KPF, bring Peter Chanda on the same table. PF must be PF. Even in super ya kusunga abantu. Chakwebati ba UPN dinga bakano kuleta PF pa ballot paper. Mkesalanda tuwalana NCP na ngutuwalana KPF nishibora yapo. Prepare your mind. Politics is about preparing your mind. What happens in Chakwebati by UPND? Bakano kubika PF pa ballot because by UPND and government. By UPND by the government. So they can do anything. When you are in government, you can be a dictator. You can do anything. You can turn this country to one party state if you want. Politics is about thinking beyond you have to think beyond imagination. That's how politics is. Eti kalunga ni mipela roadmap. Ali monokweba ti ababankaru abantu turelwa na bena. They are not going to allow PF kuba pa ballot paper. Amipela na roadmap. Amipela Tonse Alliance. Elo imoba PF muyene chalo chenu tamukwete na mapepa. But Tonse Alliance na muyene chalo chenu tamukwete abantu. That nonsense must be stopped. I'm directing you what to do now. Ba PF bombeni na NCP na KPF. Baleteni KPF na Peter Chanda patebo. Ngabakano kumipele chipani chenu ba PF. Next month ngataba mipele chipani. Now between this month October November, forget about that nonsense. Shitana ipwa. Kulefu akuprint ama t-shirt ya new. People should wear a new chitenge material, a new t-shirt, a new kasote with a different image. Tamaka bonfye ba UPA, tamaka bonfye PF. Kuya kuma general election. Natakwe ba tibai kanyo kubika. Tamaka bonfye fitenge fyaba etika lunga kufyaba Microsoft. So, you need to have a bigger budget. You have to start print out material across the country. You have to reach out in the remotest areas where people, they don't know what is happening. In 8 months, there must be a miracle. So, that nonsense, you the PF, if there is any nonsense you are planning, chibe mbachilando kwebati, kuteke charo mano, kuteke mbwa mano, watekere mbwa mchipiyaya. You koke PF, na Peter Chanda, babi Kenya hapa, eba liloyo na PF. Peter Chanda, na KPF, eba liloyo na PF. KPF wali bombele na bonse ba PF. You know him. He knows you better. So you can make up a strategy. Ba member of parliament, before tamula sobana, shitana ipua. Mwikarandati shale landa. Pantu bamo, mwalikosa mitwe. Ba PF na reba chita advise mu 2021. Pama adoption tabale umfwa. Bali sabapona. Ela PF ya ponene. Na ribebere. Ilikuwa la bama by election ukabushi na kukuacha. Ba malanji mwibachita adopt. Bowman mwimuchita adopt. The Ken Babi ama campaign manager. What did they do? They forced things. Batwala Bowman bakano kumbika pa ballot paper. Batwala maranji bakano kumbika pa ballot paper na ma seats la baba poka. Na lebe batabomfwa. If our grassroots media nga tuwalanda, we take 3 steps side every day. And I'm speaking. Ba PF nga mwali itemwa. Kenyuko Peter Chanda. Ko KPF. Mwikale pamo. Mpange strategy. Ukupesha chibola kumoswela. Ukupesha lunshi kunya pabili. Ba PF nyeni pabili. Nyeni pali KPF munyena pali Peter Chanda. So that in case of anything, Chanda ngapena mkabonja KPF. Yeso ndelanda. This is what's going to happen. Mama umfat grassroots media, we take 3 steps side every day. Kana mbokula ndaine. Ifola grassroots media nga tuwalanda. Tuwabange mfuko irenda panshi. Dilewa ule mku imbefyumbu asanga takwa befyumbu mfuko ya lidia. So I know what I'm talking about. Iten KPF mbike. Keno kula yumfwa. Yote timombe la KPF ulichipuba. Na ukwata political party. Yote timombe la Peter Chanda ulichipuba. Na ukwata political party. Na mumwana badi miliwa for 4 years. And you have remained with 8 months. Ababa UPND tabakwa tension. E-government ya kwaka inde takwa tension. That's why they are able to export electricity and import electricity. That's why they are able to export amataba. They are able to export maize and import maize. They don't care. They increase the fuel from 17 kwacha to 35 kwacha. Do you think they care? Badilandiro Kwebat Edgar Lungu was not eligible to stand in 2026, but was eligible in 2021. What criminal offense did Edgar Lungu commit between 2021 and 2026 for him to be stopped to stand as a president? So you cannot calculate all these calculations. I'm a giant bonse. Abena kambwiri bali bamasero. GPM bali mutwele mu prison. Chitotela ali mu prison. Chilango ali mu prison. Boma ali mu prison. Chilango ali mu prison. Tayari ali butuka. JJ ali butuka. So you think you can win an election when you are divided? That nonsense must be stopped. All those people have gone outside the country. All those people that are in prison, they have got hope that when you get organized, you are going to win an election. Once you go into a general election, you are disorganized. Nangu PF baga say ipelati. We are going to give you PF back. Kwasha 3 months, kwasha 2 months. Muga 2 months ukuya ku general election. Where are you going to get the money? How are you going to manage? So fimwe finti kwamba kutontonganya. You need to start thinking. Politics is to think about things which are hard. Parepo chiko sele. That's why we do politics. Upon Delando Kweba PF, by UPND bari poker. And we have remained with 8 months. Why should you, the PF, you can continue organizing Chipancha PF, Nama structures yonse. Then, ama top leaders, bari ngelabambo kumbala KPF, na Peter Chanda babeta. Na ukusala poe chipani, chika wina election 2026. Failure to do that, it will happen the way it happened. Elo bakaunda, baba kenyoku minina. This thing has happened in this country. You the PF, you are cowards. You are not like the UPND. But UPND are not cowards. Because in the Tabale Kelele Chipanicha Moguchonaula. When they were in opposition, by UPND Baremi Pumaba PF. Now they are in government. Do you think they are going to allow you? So to pretend, politics we don't pretend. We speak the facts. By UPND Tabakwa Tomwenso. Ama members of UPND. Aba PF across the country, ama members. Nama leaders were cowards. That's why badi bula machina bachinja na mwikala muletamba because of coward. Politics take who coward. Go above a coward will never be a politician. That's why never UPN badi ntemwa. Na ba opposition aba kwatama na badi ntemwa because I speak the truth. Ina badi njikata. Bantu ano masero na alala. I continue speaking because I understand power belongs to the Zambian people. Ngana alikuwa tendarama. Ngana alisali jese chipani. Akainde ngani muleta. If you might a Bob Wine later president wa Uganda. Akainda ngani muleta ine. Nobody should kansha kwa tendarama. Because ngana alikuwa tendarama. This time campaigning ngana ipia. Ngara njikata every day mbika masero. Ba police ba tuikata bale chura. Ba civil servant bale chura. Zambian people are complaining everywhere. They need a Messiah. They need a David. And you the people who think like you are Davids were cowards. Why are you confused? Muna kwati tuwakwatama state house yabili. Ya kwebati ba Freddy membe mukaba president. Ba Kaleba mukaba president. KPF mukaba president. Ba PF mukaba president. This nonsense must be stopped. Mwila tuangasha. Mwana kwa tule mitina sana. Ngamwa kwa to tundalama. Tuambia ku mitina. Politics. Kutontonganisha kwa abantu. Abela kaunda, abela kapwepwe. Bala tontonganisha kwa abantu. Michael Sata. Ala tontonganisha kwa abantu. But you want to bring confusion. Now we show what to work a political party, you have got nothing. Me, I'm even better than you. Some of you, mwebaga that will be president, aba tupani. Na baneka president. Na ma followers, bandina libakwata, more followers than you. Some of you want to bring confusion in the Tonsa lands. You, the PF, I want to advise you. But PF, tamukwa techi pani hapa, tamukwa chama paper. Until we shama paper by UPND. That's when we are going to talk about PF. The way things are, we have remained with 8 months. Sendeli Peter Chanda, na KPF, mubalete pamo, mwambio kwenda. So that it will be easy. Dani, mukaye mujeno election, you are going to get frustrated. Mukaye mujeno election, ukwa bule chipani. Ba UPND, tabaku attention. Akainde ichile, mataku attention. Ngambula kwa tari kwa attention. You check what has happened in this country. People have complained in every angle. Agriculture is a failed project. Watch. Mwalimu Fopo akaindia leland that few ngaboshipato of kwacha. Mwalimu Fopo leland that we are going to give 1,500 across the board. Kuma civil servant. He doesn't care. Nature rengo kweba ati mkwata kwa tuma light. Na twalimu leta church. Twalimu webo kweba ati ulepo na my election. Mlandu walo shedding. That's why ambo kunyengela abantu wa mashanti compound because that is what you voter. Twalimu leta. But you the opposition you want to get divided. Ela kutumpa kwa kuyalienda ama ku UPND and you want to support UPND because walikwata kwa kamulandu ulefo kubombala ba UPND. Na nguba kutinya kwebo kweba bantu walikwata omulandu, you have to support us. Democracy, you have to stand with the people. You have to stand with the poor people. That's how it is when you are a leader. But because you have got cowards in PF, cho mutina mlatina maselo, mlatina majere. Think. Kwa linsoketa kwa fire bantu. Ina shitina PF, shitina opposing political party yonse, na UPND shitina. So, Edgar Lungu tatu mpepa kuleta Tonsa Lance. Ali ishibo kweba chiba UPND, ngabaona ora PF, tukabonka kwa chipani chimbi, shitana ipua. Mwilabe pananga na mwikala maa, yo what and what? You cannot depend on the decision of an enemy. How can you depend on the decision of an enemy? You know that UPND is an enemy of PF. You know that. So you can are you expecting the enemy to decide good for you? Because the UPND, they know the greatest enemy is PF. Once PF is given back to the PF by UPND by the state of Furungana. Mwareba dereleka. You respect the democracy. Anyway, network na issue pasana. So we shinwe. Ali mishila formula Edgar Lungu. Ya Tonsa Lance. Mwika de panshi. Musa lepo na president wala bawa chipani. Pakwe bati. Tuambio kwenda. Musa lepo na political party tuwalambo kubonfya. As a vehicle for 2026. Not tukula shipula. Don't depend on UPND to give you a good chance. These people, they don't care. I'll continue speaking for the Zambian people. Icharenga bakainde na UPND bambe kutako tuma light. Na beshwa tukwasha light. Mwandu wachi network. I want just to summarize. Go back to the roadmap of Edgar Lungu ya Tonse. Noku ichefya. Musalepo political party na president mukabomfya. Ngachakweba chibakabwesha PF. Timwasa bomfya PF. But the way things are, ababa tuletinga na bena, they have got the minds of dictatorship. You need to have plan B. Plan B Edgar Lungu wadi mebere. Nokutia mwalikwata vision. Kuchila mulero mpi. UPND is a finished project. UPND is finished. UPND alirusa my election. Once you get united and love one another and put the interest of the Zambian people, follow the together as one. Umufyashi wenu Edgar Lungu ali mishire nshira. Ngamwaluba lwenu. Ali mipela Tonsa Lance where you can choose a leader. Anyway, Dr. Nani, I'm internet liko bad. So follow the roadmap of Edgar Lungu. Have tolerance. Open up your eyes and put up a strategy. Politics about strategy and to see beyond the curtain. a politics. So in amieba mikalangati inshalelanda. Don't make a mistake. Ya kweba tinamu ikala and you fold your hands and expecting good things out of the UPND. This government is a government of liars. This government, they don't care. They don't respect the democracy in this country. So you wake up and work as a team to defeat this failed government of Wakainde HDM. Grassroots. So, nachinala and so ine mwandwa internet liko poor. Na miebe fya kuchita ichefieni bonse. Abena KBF, abena Peter Chanda ba PF ichefieni. Work as a team. KBF wa PF.